So I was out getting a new tattoo with my best friend, and the tattoo I got was a Super Mario star. And while I was sitting there trying not to scream in pain, the whole time I was thinking about every Mario game I have played in the past and how it's partly shaped me into who I am today. And it got me thinking, should I sit and rate every mainline Mario game? So today, that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit here and rate every mainline Mario game. Now, I know the title says every Mario game, and you can go ahead and complain in the comments. I personally do not care. The Mario games I will be rating today will be from Mario's very first debut all the way to Super Mario Bros. Wonder. The only games I will be excluding from this list are all the spin-off games, so Mario Kart, Mario Party, Mario RPG, Paper Mario, Mario Sports games, and also Super Mario Land 1 and 2, simply because I've never played them. And at the moment, I can only play the second game thanks to Nintendo Switch Online. What a scam. Oh, and I know what you're probably thinking. Did I have the same thoughts when I got my Zelda tattoo? No, I didn't. But I did research seeing if that was already done, and there is already a video on YouTube called Rating Every Zelda Game by someone called Destry Smith. If this video about rating Mario games does well, I'll consider rating every Zelda game too, since I very much adore that series more than anything. In fact, the Zelda tattoo was actually the first tattoo I ever got whenever I turned 16. Oh, and by the way, when I went to go see how many people have went through and rated every Mario game, every video I came across was called ranking every Mario game, not rating every Mario game. I doubt I'm the first person to rate every Mario game, but just thought it was odd there was a ton of rankings but no ratings. Alright, enough of me yapping. Let's get to rating every Mario game in chronological order. I'm sure all of you are aware that Mario made his debut in the old NES game Donkey Kong. While at the time he wasn't called Mario, he was actually called Jumpman. Jumpman, Jumpman, Jumpman! And if you want to make conspiracies saying Jumpman and Mario aren't the same person, go for it. I'm still trying to figure that out to this day. But anyway, this game is pretty simple. Mario has to save the girl who is named Pauline from Donkey Kong, hence the name Donkey Kong. I don't really got a whole lot to say about this game, and it was spectacular for its time according to my father, and I can see why. I've played Donkey Kong a few times on home consoles and also the original arcade machines, mostly with my dad, and what I've played was pretty much a fun time, and it shaped a generation for what gaming has become. So I'm going to give this game an 8 out of 10. Mario finally got his first game in a video game called Mario Bros, which is also on the NES, which followed Mario and his brother Luigi clearing out weird-looking monsters in the sewers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think a lot of people know about this game's existence. A lot of people think that Mario's debut was in the first Super Mario Bros. Game, which is called Super Mario Bros. I am horrible with grammar. While I also haven't played this a lot, and even though Donkey Kong was Mario's first appearance, technically he wasn't even named Mario, he was named Jumpman. In this game, it's Mario Bros. He is Mario and Luigi. But what I played was pretty enjoyable, so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Alright, now this is the one all of you have to recognize, Super Mario Bros., which is a game that changed the gaming industry forever. Everybody loved this game. The game has so many special places in people's hearts. This game is just so simple and fun. You walk left or right to save the princess from Bowser, and it's just so cute and awesome. This game is the reason why Mario is such a big thing today, and people still play it to this day. I'm sure there's people speedrunning it, which I gotta say, it's gotta be the most easiest game to speedrun ever, as long as you know what you're doing. This game is overall just phenomenal, and I don't think Nintendo would be where they are today without this game. So, in my opinion, I'm going to give this game a perfect 10 out of 10. The follow-up to Super Mario Bros. Is Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, which is a much harder game compared to the first. I believe this game was released exclusively in Japan, so it took a while before people could play it in the United States. Here in the United States, however, we got a completely different Super Mario Bros. 2, which we will get to that in a minute. The Lost Levels I don't think was as popular as the first game, but I could be wrong on that. Once again, I don't have too much personal experience with this game, but what I have played is pretty enjoyable in my opinion, very rage-inducing, and I know there's a lot of people out there who do love it, so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Why not? Super Mario Bros. 2 is a completely different game that came out here in the United States. Really quick, I will get this out of the way because I know everybody will say it. Mario Bros. 2 is a reskin of Doki Doki Panic. Okay, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Doki Doki Panic is a video game made in Japan, which I believed involved Shigeru Miyamoto, who is the creator of Mario. So that's why the game was so Mario-esque, and I'm guessing it was why it was reskinned into Super Mario Bros. 2. Okay, now let's rate this game. Personally, I really enjoy this game. I played it on my Game Boy Advance and just had a lot of fun getting frustrated with how hard it can be sometimes, especially the sand levels. Holy f***, the sand levels. I also didn't like how Alberto was the boss at the end of almost every level in this game. Other than that, it did have more villains than just Bowser. In fact, Bowser doesn't even appear in this game. It's just some random guy named Mort, I believe, and holy shit, his eyes are bleeding at the end of the game. Overall, I personally really enjoyed this game, not as much as the others unfortunately, but I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Super Mario Bros. 3, the last game in the trilogy of Mario games on the NES, and my god, this game is just perfect, from the levels to the music to just everything. This is a pixel by pixel perfect game. It got rid of all that weird shit from the second game, and it was overall just a phenomenal experience. It introduced Raccoon Mario for the first time. I believe this was the first game to have the Koopa Kids. The story and music was also oddly emotional to listen to, if that makes any sense. Like the part where Mario gets the key from defeating Bowser's ship and saving people like the king who turned into a dog. The cutscene just gives me goosebumps every single time. Oh my god! However, that part of the game is nothing compared to this banger. Goddamn, that song will never get old. It's always stuck in my head constantly. Whenever I'm at work, you know, or just on a hot sunny day, this song will be playing in my head. Anyway, I personally really love this game, and I think it sold extremely well. And therefore, I'm going to give this game a 9.5 out of 10. Why not? Super Mario World, aka the best SNES game ever created. This game blew everybody's mind back in 1990, and it's also one of my personal favorite 2D Mario games of all time. It is such a perfectly crafted game. The levels, the music, the characters, the story. This game is just truly a masterpiece. It introduces new power-ups and mechanics we haven't seen before, like the superhero cape. I actually don't remember what it was called. This item is seriously overpowered. If you knew how to use it correctly, you could easily just fly high above every single level in the game and just beat the game that way, with water levels and castles being your main challenge. Oh, and of course those random pipes in the middle of some levels. I am pretty sure this was the first ever game to introduce Yoshi, who I guess raised Mario when he was a baby, but I'm not sure. I've never played Yoshi's Island. Only thing I know about Yoshi is that the poor animal was abused in this game, getting punched by Mario in order to eat stuff. Mario always jumping off him and leaving Yoshi to die in the pits. The only thing I never liked about this game is the woods. I was stuck in this place for hours when I was younger and rage quit the game, and I never returned to it until years later, where a wonderful thought crossed my mind. Why not just Google it? I know, that's basically a gaming sim, but at the time my dumb little self was desperate. Let me tell you, it was worth it, and that Bowser fight at the end was super awesome. Even if Peach did look a little weird flapping her hands around the air as she gave me a mushroom. Then there was the Star World, which to this day I still have not completed because of how rage-inducing it is. Overall, this game is just beautiful, and I don't think I would be much of a Mario fan as I am today without this game. Like, my god, it is such a freaking banger, dude. So therefore, I'm going to give it a record-breaking 11 out of 10. Following the release of the Nintendo 64 was a game that everybody and their grandmother is aware of, and that game is Super Mario 64. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this was literally one of the first 3D games ever made, and that was the main selling point of the Nintendo 64. It was completely 3D gaming, which also changed the gaming industry a lot. Anyway, what the f is Super Mario 64 about? Well, Peach's weird model invites good old Mario down for some cake, but when he gets there, what a surprise, Bowser kidnaps her again. He was probably expecting a different kind of cake from her. Anyway, what's interesting about this game is that the entire game takes place inside the castle. Kinda. Mario has to jump through massive paintings in order to go to different levels to collect enough stars in order to unlock other parts of the castle, ultimately leading to your final fight with Bowser. I'll be honest, I didn't know this game really existed at first until I watched the YouTube channel SMG4, which is where I really started to learn about this game, and it is still very much alive, and it's a massive fan favorite. This game is never going to die. People keep discovering new tricks and other cool stuff, mostly because speedrunning techniques or challenges they make up, like the Green Demon Challenge, for example. Like what? No! Speedrunners can complete this game in under 6 minutes thanks to an interesting glitch called the BLJ, which stands for backwards long jump. It's kind of hard to describe what it is, so here's a clip of it. These speedruns are honestly beautiful, but they are also, in my opinion, just funny to watch. Like, imagine Bowser spends weeks executing his plan to kidnap Peach and start Mario's next adventure, only for Mario to literally break the laws of the universe and make fun of Bowser's sexuality. Come on, Mario, why you gotta do my boy Bowser like that? Apart from speedrunning this game, it also just never dies, because people are still trying to discover secrets and other cool things about the game. One of them being the L is Real 2401 conspiracy, which is where players believe Luigi is somehow playable. Little did we know Nintendo's source code somehow got leaked 24 years and 1 month after the game's release, which players discovered Luigi's model. L in fact really was real, I guess. And what's really bizarre was that Luigi was discovered 24 years and 1 month after the game's release. 2401, which was the number on the gravestone.
Coincidence? I think.
Sorry, I was getting a little bit off track there. I'm not trying to get into the lore of Mario 64. Trust me, that's a thing on its own that I will never get into. Anyway, I didn't complete this game until I was about 16, and what I played, I absolutely loved it. I've never won 20 started or anything. I've only ever done the 75. I've never done BLJs or anything like that. But other than that, what I played was a phenomenal experience, and I think every person who has ever played a Mario game, or is at least a Nintendo fan, should at least try this once. So therefore, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Moving on to Super Mario Sunshine, and I gotta be honest, I haven't gotten very far in this game, and I have never completed it. I own the original GameCube copy and the Super Mario 3D All-Stars version, and would like to try and complete it someday, but I just don't really have an interest in it. I did watch the entirety of Game Grumps play it, so I'm just going to rate it based off of what I saw from them, and from what I played when I originally did, which I didn't play a lot. Mario and company are on vacation, and
welcome to the sun-drenched tropical paradise of Isle Delfino. We're so pleased to welcome you to our beautiful home.
Hey yo, what the f***? There's voice... God damn, I grabbed the wrong game. Hey yo, what the f***? There's voice acting in this game? That immediately caught me off guard. I know Peach talked in Super Mario 64, and we've heard them talk in the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, which, by the way, that show was the f***ing bomb. But in this brand new 3D Mario game, all the characters are talking except for Mario, and to me, it just felt really uncanny, and I don't really know why. Anyway, the story revolves around them going on vacation, only to find out someone who looks like Mario has been painting the entire island, and has been creating weird paint-like monsters that can kill you. What? Mario is framed and has to clean up the island with his weird water hose. I do not remember what it was called. And then Peach gets kidnapped and Mario gotta save her, and yeah, you get the drill. It's a Mario game. I know this game is some people's favorites, but personally, I just don't have any interest to complete it, in my opinion. Maybe one day I'll sit down and complete it, but for now, I don't really like this game, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Alright, moving on to the next game. After Super Mario Sunshine, Nintendo decided to finally create a brand new 2D side-scrolling Mario game for the Nintendo DS, and it was a very good game in my opinion. The levels are really cool, the bosses were pretty sick. There are only really 2 main complaints I have about the game, and one of them is the big mushroom that is always marketed constantly when Nintendo was selling this game, but it only really works in a handful of levels. And while you can get more big mushrooms from big mushroom houses, over half of the levels in this game don't even work with it. I feel like Nintendo just slapped on the box art only so they could sell over 30 million copies. The second complaint is how easy the Bowser Jr. and Bowser fights are. Seriously, it was just very basic, just like the old 2D Mario games, which I know some people could be nostalgic for, but I don't know. I wish they would have made it a little more challenging, which is exactly what they did in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, but we'll get to that later on. This game, while it is remembered, I don't think it's talked that much. A bunch of people said it was going to be a classic just like Mario Bros. 1 through 3, but personally, I just don't think it is. But that is not going to hold me back from giving this game a 7.5 out of 10. Who the heck is this?
Hey, Andrew.
Whoa! Jeremy Klinger? What are you doing here?
Well, I heard you were rating every mainline Mario game, so naturally, I had to chime in and give my 2 cents on Mario Galaxy.
I mean, yeah, sure, why not? I totally did not just contact you to be a part of this video.
That's exactly what you did. What are you talking about?
Okay, please just rate the game.
so it's pretty obvious what I'm giving this game. 10 out of 10. Mwah, perfection. I am 100% blinded by nostalgia, but I don't care. Super Mario Galaxy is a masterclass in 3D platforming, blending a more linear approach to level design from the classic 2D Mario side-scrollers with the interesting environments that you want to explore from 64 and Sunshine. I've replayed this game many a time, and it's always been a treat. The levels are just pure fun, and while I prefer the structure of Galaxy 2's levels just a tad more, these ones are more immersive for sure. It also helps that this game is beautiful. It looks higher definition than any Mario game on Wii U, and it came out back in 2007. The cinematography of cutscenes is absolute peak Mario, and the universe encapsulating setting makes for the most unique slate of worlds the series has seen to date. The hub world is definitely what keeps me coming back though. That music and setting takes me back to a simpler time, where I didn't have a worry in the world and kept trying to get the camera up Rosalina's dress. What? Anyway, maybe a 10 is too high. I like to try and be objective with most things, so I'll lock it in at 9.5, because no game's perfect. But thanks for having me on, Andrew. I gotta go label more beloved characters as worthless, so I'll see you later.
Okay, that was weird. Moving on to New Super Mario Bros. Wii. New Super Mario Bros. Wii, a sequel to New Super Mario Bros. On the DS? The reason for the question mark is because there is a game called New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the Nintendo 3DS, even though it comes out after New Super Mario Bros. Wii, so technically the sequel will be the third. But you probably already heard this a million times, so let's just move on. New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I am 80% sure that this is the first game that I have ever played in my life. I think so anyway. Whenever my mom and dad were together, they had a Nintendo Wii, and I'm pretty sure New Super Mario Bros. Wii and Super Mario Galaxy were the first two games I had ever played. So I am quite a veteran with the New Super Mario Bros. Franchise, and I've even gotten really good at them. I have 100%ed every single one, but New Super Mario Bros. Wii was my first. Now what the heck is this game about? Well, same as last time, Peach gets kidnapped by Bowser. The only difference is instead of Bowser Jr. taking her and him being the boss most of the time, instead the Koopa kids are back and are kidnapping Peach. And they are the new bosses in every single world. After this game came out, you can notice a pattern with every new Mario game, but we'll get to that later. The game itself is better improved. It introduced the propeller outfit and the ice and penguin outfit, I believe. It didn't bring back the Mega Mushroom, which honestly, thank God, it was useless. It introduced multiplayer for the first time, which wasn't that great honestly, but 2 players is better than 4. The end fight where Bowser gets extremely giant was pretty cool, but other than that, the game just feels like your average 2D side-scrolling Mario game. And I'm pretty sure everyone who owned a Wii also owned this game, or they at least played it once in their life. This game has a really special place in my heart, and it even spawned my favorite fan game of all time, which is newer Super Mario Bros. If you haven't played it yet, I highly recommend you do. But for what this game was at its time, and also my personal experience with it, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. After New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Nintendo decided to make a sequel to the best Mario game of all time, Super Mario Galaxy, hence the name Super Mario Galaxy 2. The story is Bowser once again turning giant for some reason, and Mario teams up with Luma in order to save Peach. Rosalina doesn't make an appearance in this game until the very end, which is kinda sad, but instead of her we got our very own spaceship given to us by this dude, who kinda looks like a massive squishy pillow. Other than that, the game in my opinion can be quite harder than the first game, which I think makes the game more challenging to those who beat the first and were looking for more content. They introduced Yoshi for the first time in this game, but apart from Yoshi, as far as I know, that is kinda it besides some levels being hella different and unique. I know, but personally, I just like Super Mario Galaxy 1 a lot more, and you can go argue in the comments about that, I personally do not care. But that will not hold me back from giving this game a 9.5 out of 10. Also, the soundtrack is a banger, dude. Coming back to the New Super Mario Bros. Series, next we have New Super Mario Bros. 2, which again is technically the third game in the series, but I'm not going to get into that again. This game did bring back the Mega Mushroom for some reason, but it's like never used. Instead, the game focuses on nothing but coins galore and the Tanuki Mario outfit. Other than that, there's honestly not a whole lot of things to say that hasn't already been said. It's starting to get a pattern going though, with the Koopa Kid bosses and every world being almost the exact same. I even know it from memory. It goes plant, sand, winter, water, jungle, rock, clouds, and lava. They are all in the same order, maybe switching them up here and there, but that's, it's always in the same order for some reason. Some of them you can choose to skip if you find the secret exits, but other than that, the Bowser fight is a little different. Besides him being huge, it's just plain and boring. Once again, I have 100% of this game, but I have never gotten 9,999,999 coins. Which, if you do that, it literally turns the game gold, I believe, and adds a Tanuki Mario statue to the menu. If you truly have no life, go for it, but I don't personally recommend it. I enjoyed this game, but my complaints are mostly similar to everybody else's online, so I'm going to give this game a 8 out of 10. Why not? Finally, we are here at the end of the new Super Mario Bros. Series, and once again, this game is just the same. But I gotta be honest, and I don't know why, but this game is just my favorite out of all of them. It was really cool. I loved how all the lands were connected as one giant world. The boss was kind of cooler despite it just being Bowser, but huge again. Other than a couple new power-ups, not much to say about this game other than it's kind of underwhelming and kind of sucks that this was the first HD Mario game on that poor, old, sad Wii U, and it was a launch title. At that point, everyone was just sick of the new Super Mario Bros. Games, and were just craving something else. And I think Mario Maker filled that gap, but we're not going to get into that today. Besides 100%ing it, there's not a lot I can say about this game that hasn't already been said, so I'm just going to go ahead and give this game a 7 out of 10. Next up is Super Mario 3D World. This game created the cat suit where Mario and his friends turn into cats. Because, cats are pretty cool. Other than that, this game was literally just Super Mario 3D Land but with multiplayer and cat. Other than them being furries, Bowser is not kidnapping Peaches this time around, which is different, but instead we are rescuing these fairy things. Not sure why we want to save them or what Bowser was going to do with them, but hey, it did make a pretty fun Mario 3D experience. Walking around the hub world was pretty cool, and the Bowser fight at the end was also pretty cool, but other than that, it just felt like a really mid game. There's just not a lot to remember from it. Hell, I beat this game for the first time very recently on the Wii U and still do not remember much from it. Overall, it's a pretty fun game, but it's also just very forgettable, so I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Super Mario Odyssey is by far one of my favorite games of all time. I have 100% of this game twice, and I've beaten this game at least 7 times. Why? I just love it a lot and kind of made it a yearly tradition to just play the game. That, and I don't have anything better to do when I'm on vacation and have a chance to play my Switch. This game introduces Cappy, who can possess and turn Mario into all kinds of enemies and objects, and whatever the else he feels like taking the body of. Anyway, in this game, Bowser is once again the villain, and he is taking things a step further. Instead of just kidnapping Peach, he is forcing her to marry him. What the hell, bro? Nobody would show up to this wedding. What the guys? I thought you were on my side! Anyways, Mario has a cool Odyssey to travel around in to go to different worlds such as the Cap Kingdom, a Dinosaur Kingdom, a City Kingdom, a fucking Moon Kingdom, a City Kingdom, a Moon Kingdom, and many more. It will also hold a very special place in my heart, so therefore I'm going to give this a record-breaking 11 out of 10. Finally, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, the first new original 2D Mario game for the Nintendo Switch, and this game is awesome. You know how everyone has made the joke that Mario is on drugs every time he eats a mushroom? Well, in this game, you literally feel like you just did a ton of drugs. It makes you wonder what the is going on, hence the name Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Anyway, the game is about rescuing the Poplins from the Flower Kingdom and recovering all the Wonder Seeds and stopping Bowser once again. This is not a new Super Mario Bros. Game from the new series, but it is definitely a new 2D Mario game if you know what I mean. The art style is brand new and looks super cool. There's new badge things that can give you different types of power-ups in the game. You can play as all sorts of Mario characters in this game, and
It's a me!
yeah, they gave Mario and Luigi brand new voices in this game, and the original voice actor Charles Martinet was replaced by Kevin Afghani, who does a great job, don't get me wrong. Just kinda sad to see that Charles Martinet is stepping down from the voice of Mario. Anyways, this game is fantastic, possibly even one of the Switch's greatest, and I think it will be remembered for many more years to come. So therefore, I'm going to give this game a 9.5 out of 10. And there you have it. That is every Mario game rated. I had a lot of fun making this video. It took me over 5 months to make. I decided to make this video the last video I ever wrote while I was in high school before I graduated. So goodbye high school. If this video does well and you want to see more like it, please subscribe, like the video, and comment down below what you would like to see more of. Also, shout out to Jeremy Klinger for being a part of this video. He's a really awesome guy. Go check out his YouTube channel if you would like to see more Mario and Sonic videos, and also see where he makes characters worthless, you son of a bitch. Also, I am now partnered with an energy drink company called Dubby. If you would like a 10% discount, use code AndyRootGamer in all caps. They're actually not that bad. I have a couple of tubs that I tend to drink here and there. Other than that, you can support me on Patreon, grab yourself some merch, and all the other fun stuff in the description below. And that's enough of me selling out. You guys have an amazing day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!